What's up guys, Cody here, back with another ethereal video, this one taking a look at potential item builds for Arawn. Now, I do believe that Arawn's best role will be jungle, so all the builds here are going to be based around that. However, altering these builds for a solo lane will be easy. All you gotta do is replace the jungle item with something else. So let's get to it. This first build is what I imagine will be the most viable build, and it's just a simple AP Bruiser build. You're going to pick up defensive boots, whether you want iron boots, swift shoes, or the reinforced versions. Mark of the Elemental Predator, Mage Slayer's Cloak, Dragon's Heart Jewel, Cotton Spore Guard, Disruptive Shield, and Lifebinder's Leeching Guard. You can replace the last three items with any tank items based on what you're facing and what you want, and you can also swap out Elemental Predator for Sentinel Hunter if you want more tank stats. Anyways, the mark item and boots are pretty straightforward as to why we have them. Mage Slayer's Cloak is the AP counterpart to Berserker's Shield, meaning that it's pretty much a must-have for AP Bruisers. It just gives so much stats, all of them being useful to us, so there's no reason not to get this. Only downside to Mage Slayer Cloak is that it doesn't give armor, but we can just get that later. As for Dragonheart Jewel, once again it gives useful stats for Bruiser, and its passive deals quite a bit. With Elemental Predator, Mage Slayer's Cloak, and Dragon's Heart, we get 145 magic power, assuming we're above half health for the cloak. 5% of that is 7.75, and if we estimate and say Dragon's Heart is dealing about 35 base damage per tick at this point, then the item over the course of the entire passive deals 427 damage. That's a lot, especially when you consider that Arawn's ultimate slows enemies around him, and he can always grab somebody while Dragon's Heart going off to deal all of its damage while they can't move. There are two things I don't like about Dragon's Heart though. First, if you get poked, the item will activate, meaning you won't have it for the fight anymore. This you can work around though by just going in as soon as you get poked or just not getting poked in the first place. The second thing though is that the item procs off of attacking minions or jungle camps. This means that in lane, this item is awful, and its passive will never be up for you to use in the fight in lane. In jungle, it's not as bad, but it does mean that you have to wait 20 seconds after clearing a camp before you gank, and that just makes things awkward that time. A simple change to fix this problem with the item is to make it so that it only procs when you enter combat with enemy myths, and make it so the cooldown ticks down as long as you're not in combat with enemy myths. As for the final three items, like I said, you can replace any of those with tank items if you want. The ones I chose just seem generically good. Cotton Spore Guard gives a lot of resistances. Since Arawn already has a lot of built-in health, straight resistances are a lot more beneficial. Disruptive Shield is a good tank item that gives a lot of armor, which is definitely something we're lacking in the other items, and we're already living for a long time to begin with, so once again, Disruptive Shield is great. And Lifebinder's Leeching Guard has a great passive, once again, because we are living for a long time and this lengthens that as well. Now, you might be wondering why I didn't mention Fool's Curse in here. Fool's Curse seems really good, doesn't it? It's an item whose passive scales with health, and Arawn can get infinite health from his passive. Here's the problem though with Fool's Curse. If you die too soon in a fight, i.e. you go in too early or you get caught, then all that's happened is you've done a little bit of damage to the enemy while leaving your team to fight a 5v6. If you die too late with Fool's Curse, then the passive means absolutely nothing. Doesn't matter if you kill one or two people with it if the rest of your team is already dead. It also doesn't matter if your team wins the fight and you die at the end with nobody left to kill with the passive. It's an item that requires you to die at just the right time in the middle of a fight, which is very difficult to achieve when you have a lot of health. And there's just a good argument to purchase a different item that might keep yourself alive longer and just be more useful to you overall. I was planning on doing a showcase for a build with Fool's Curse, and upon doing the math for that type of build, I was very disappointed in it. And honestly, I think just a legitimate tank build without Fool's Curse is just straight up better, because Fool's Curse actually does not deal that much damage. For the second build, this one is probably less viable than the first, but it's still a feasible option, and it's a more magic damage heavy build that's got a nice combo built into it. So, Magnifying Shoes, Elemental Predator, Dragon's Heart Jewel, Ring of the Void, Magic Moon Wand, Kitsus Lost Ring, and Perseus Warding, although you could replace Perseus Warding with Pyro Staff if you just really want to go ham on the damage. Magnifying Shoes is just Mage Boots, and Elemental Predator, once again, is just a Mage item. Dragon's Heart here is going to be dealing more damage than the previous build as we progress through this one. Ring of the Void is going to give us Magic Pin, which is going to be very useful to us, and it's going to add to our damage over time. Magic Moon Wand, you could replace this with one of the other big mage items, but it plays into the combo that we're going to pull off, so I'll explain that in a second once I get through the other items. Lost Ring is more Magic Pen, really useful. And then I chose Perseus Warding just because it was a good defensive item, but like I said, you could put in Pyro Staff if you want. So, this combo with Magic Moon Wand. It requires you to proc the item's passive alongside Arawn's grab. So you can activate the passive with the grab or potentially with the fireball into the grab. And once you've done that, you just hold them. And watch as the enemy gets damage from not only the Moonwand passive, but also Dragon's Heart damage, the dot damage for Ring of the Void, Orin's Blaze damage, his passive aura damage, and all that's being amplified by your spell penetration. It's to the point where I think if you pull off this combo, enemies will just straight up die while stuck in the grab, because this combo easily deals over 1,000 damage with just Dragon's Heart and Magic Moonwand alone. Not even counting any of the other abilities or items Arawn's going to have on him. So if this combo works like I think it does, and it ends up being somewhat viable, then it can be a very scary thing to go up against, at least in a 1v1. And yeah, that's going to be it for the Arawn item guide. I didn't care to cover support here because I don't see him as a legitimate support. You will not see me playing him as support unless I'm forced to. But it's kind of straightforward to just buy a bunch of mask as support anyways, so yeah. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more ethereal content. As a reminder, I occasionally stream over on my Twitch in the evenings. If you want any advice on League of Legends or you just want to see me carry as support at high elo, head on over there. I'll be happy to have you. But anyways, thanks guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.